Viewer discretion is advised for those seeking definitive conclusions or adhering to established paradigms.
The evidence, though initially appearing superficial, warrants careful scrutiny. Whether this observation has been previously identified or overlooked due to methodological limitations remains uncertain. If recognized but ignored, it may indicate an unwillingness to acknowledge potential errors. On the Moon, weaker gravity affects only one axis, rather than all three as observed on Earth. Under such conditions, sand would travel farther and faster compared to Earth, a difference that is not insignificant. However, consistent deceleration across all three axes is observed, creating a discrepancy that requires explanation. By the 1960s, broadcast, professional, and consumer video cameras were designed with electronic synchronization to ensure precise frame rates. NTSC recorded at 29.97 frames per second, and PAL at 25 frames per second. While color reproduction could show noticeable inaccuracies, timekeeping was unwavering. A video capturing 10 seconds would play back exactly 10 seconds in real time. Thus, when the footage is accelerated by precisely 2.23x its normal rate, the predicted outcomes align with observable reality.
Hey, that was a good stop. Those wheels just locked. Mark off. Okay. Do you want to do it one more time? Yeah. At about a minute, 5 seconds that time. Mark on. Okay, you could have gone the other way. Go ahead. There's a big crater there, though, aren't there? Yeah, I know. It's one of those holes. They want 4 minutes for it, John. Buzz a minute and 5.
The inaccuracies are evident in the statement. They want 4 minutes, John. That was about a minute, 5 seconds, which reflects a psychological complexity easily deconstructed by experts. However, the suggestion that the astronauts lacked leadership or planning, leading to all of them being unaware of the desired footage duration of the rover, is unprecedented. If the situation were spontaneous, all instructions would have been simultaneously relayed by NASA through communication helmets. This exemplifies pseudology, undermined by over-explanation. A key component of this investigation lies in the intricate manner in which photoelectromagnetic image analysis, or PEME, extracts the intensity, direction, behavior, and displacement of light, as well as the type of light being used. PEME analysis demonstrates a remarkable ability to distinguish between artificial light, natural sunlight, LED light, and a multitude of other light types when reflected against different colors, achieving an unparalleled level of consistency. Different colors and materials absorb various types of light differently, depending on their unique properties. Natural sunlight remains the most consistent, spanning from its harrowing descent through Earth's atmosphere to the depths of the oceans and across the land. Its scale and properties make natural sunlight impossible to replicate. To better understand gravity, Let's evaluate the sand behavior when astronauts kicked it compared to when the lunar rover stirred it up. There is quite a difference, but you will notice that in rare instances when the sand is accidentally kicked in opposing directions, its trajectory is inconsistent. In one direction, the sand travels a very far distance, as expected, but when kicked backward, it inexplicably travels a shorter distance, something inconsistent with lunar conditions. Additionally, observe how the astronauts' movements while jumping appear awkward and tense, contrasting with their otherwise relaxed and normal behavior in other situations. From these observations, we can extrapolate that the limited stage used was not only tilted, but also influenced by a gust of free-flowing current, which propelled the loose sand farther. However, the methods used are not important, as the inconsistencies alone are enough to deem the videos fraudulent. Consider the following points. 1. Sand travels a far distance from a light kick when moving forward. 2. In the same scene, when kicked in the opposite direction, the sand does not travel as far back. 3. The lunar rover did not stir up sand to the same extent as the astronauts' kicks. This phenomenon, specific to the astronauts and occurring only in one direction, cannot be attributed to consistent lunar conditions. 4. Different speeds used to increase FPS should result in movements consistent with physics, maintaining a margin of error within 1%. However, these videos exceed a 20% margin, indicating significant inconsistencies. 5. Gravity primarily affects vertical, up and down movement, not horizontal, left to right. Yet this video demonstrates otherwise, further undermining its authenticity. It becomes strikingly evident that the footage has been deliberately slowed down. The vertical angle of the sand pulses further supports this observation. When force is applied to an object at a horizontal angle, it should ascend higher under reduced gravity than on Earth. However, in this case, it only goes marginally further than it would on Earth. This minor discrepancy is often enough for those with bias to dismiss skepticism and claim the footage is authentic, disregarding other conflicting evidence. Yet in this footage, the ascent appears less than what would even be expected on Earth. In the realm of conspiracy and skepticism, establishing a baseline is essential. Let's begin with an undeniable fact. The images captured from orbit are unquestionably authentic. This point is beyond debate. However, this brings us to the infamous Van Allen belts, often at the center of poorly substantiated arguments. It's time to discard such baseless claims and move forward. In these images, the background lacks a stable, non-static pattern. Between shades of teal and pink, we observe only the expected behaviors of radiated light. Yet, as we approach the moon in these photo sets, patterns begin to emerge. Patterns that, if previously unnoticed, might explain why these images initially seem genuine. However, if these patterns have been observed before, they raise troubling questions about humanity's readiness to confront or even recognize.
Me and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me, so happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby,
the anomalies extend beyond patterns to physical discrepancies. Take, for example, the footprints on the lunar surface. The patterns aren't the only issue. Size discrepancies also demand attention. Focus on the footprints visible on the lunar surface and note their distance from the lunar module. Now, observe this second photo. Finally, overlay the first photo atop the second, aligning them spatially. At this point, the discrepancy becomes undeniable. The relative scale of the footprints next to one astronaut shifts drastically when compared to footprints near another astronaut within the same photo set. This issue recurs across multiple images, raising questions not only about patterns, but also about potential deliberate adjustments or doctoring to conceal inconsistencies.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. It's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen, so in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going.